Hello everybody and welcome back to Crowns. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a Bible that Cambridge sent to me. And this is a special new project that Cambridge is embarking on, and that is providing the gospel to readers who have dyslexia. So without further ado, let's take a look at the crystal clear New Testament from Cambridge Bibles. Get that situated real nice, maybe do a little bit of a slant. And we're recording. Okay, so this is the Crystal Edition New Testament from Cambridge Bibles. Okay, so we'll start things off taking a look at that outer cover. It is bound like a kind of like a typical hard book you would see, but if you're like me, a lot of the times I get rid of these outer paper covers, especially if the actual hard binding looks pretty good. And in the case of this Crystal Edition New Testament, it definitely does look pretty cool. I like it. It almost looks like it's textured like leather. It's obviously not leather, but it's textured like it is. Have some really nice gold foil hubs in the back on the spine. You're not going to get any raised hubs or anything like that. You're going to get your New Testament ESV translation, Cambridge Bible down there at the bottom in a beautiful, not quite, I don't know if I'd call that navy blue, but it is a darker blue here. Okay, looking at this inside cover right here, basically states their mission for this new product they have. Let's see. The layout of the pages has been designed in an open and spacious way to avoid visual stress to the user. It makes use of the specially designed dyslexia-friendly Grace font, designed to keep the lines of printed text more grounded and free from distortion. As the mission to reduce visual stress and improve the reader experience is an evolving one, we encourage feedback from users of this specially produced edition. And then it just goes on to say that if you do purchase a copy of this, make sure to scan the QR code and let them know what you think. Let them know if it's helped you out. If you are a reader that does have dyslexia, let them know maybe if there's any changes they should make. This is like a new frontier for Cambridge. They've never really done anything like this before, so this first edition is definitely kind of more experimental. I would imagine if the product is received pretty well, I would imagine them bringing out maybe like a more of a traditional Bible binding, maybe like a calfskin or an imitation leather or whatever. But so we'll move on to the interior of the Bible. As stated before, it is a specially designed font called Grace, and it is an 11-point font, so it is definitely a good size font. There you can kind of see a preview of it right there. I don't know how to explain it. It kind of reminds me of the old school like typewriter font. Some of the letters that are more infamous for causing confusion is like the D's and the B's, just specially designed to help the reader kind of make a distinction between the letters. A little bit about the translation, printed and bound by CPI, Anthony Rowe, and United Kingdom. You are going to get your table of contents in there. You will get a preface, and then you will get a little bit of details in here about the font Grace specifically. Then you'll get a preface to the ESV translation philosophy, principles and style, translation of specialized terms, textual footnotes, publishing team, all that, and then you're going to hop straight into your actual text block. Now, what's interesting about this, as I mentioned before, it's really bound like a standard hardback novel, and there's a couple reasons why that's cool. And I wasn't just talking about the exterior cover, I was also talking about the actual layout of the text block itself. So it is in paragraph form. It's in like a reader's format. So what that means is you're not going to get like a verse by verse format. So if you look at this, we start out with this paragraph at verse 5, and then we move into verse 6 right here, rather than starting each new verse on its own new line. So that would be verse by verse. This is more of like a reader's. So this is something that you could just sit down with on an afternoon or whenever you're wanting to read the Bible, and you can just make your way through the New Testament like you would a novel. So pretty cool idea. You are going to get your chapter headings up top. You will get your paragraph headings, and then you will get your book of the Bible. Also, your page number down here in the bottom. Now, for some of the features that readers with dyslexia will appreciate is The paragraphs are well spaced out, and it gives the reader a break, and then the letters are weighted to keep them in place. You're going to get really nice paragraph spacing as well. That way you can kind of take it chunk by chunk and take breaks in between. And it also makes it easier to, if you're focusing on, let's say, like a 2-column verse by verse formatted Bible, sometimes it can be hard to, if you lose your place, to kind of get back into it. So it makes it a lot easier so that if you do get distracted, you can easily find your place again. Again, here's just another example of those paragraph headings, kind of flipping through here a little bit. And then when you look at like your D's, the D's and the B's, when you look at them, they are a little bit specialized, I guess is one way to say it, to where it just makes it easier to kind of distinguish between like a D and a B and different letters that can often get confused. You can also tell again just how large that font is, 11-point font. Another aspect of this Bible that makes it really readable is the font is, it's like a weighted font. What that means is that the individual letters are, they'll have like a heavier brush stroke, they'll be more distinguishable. And again, you can kind of see that, especially here when you look at like the word promise right there. You can see that it has a varying brush stroke throughout each letter. And that just makes it a little bit easier to read and kind of pick out individual letters that you might be having issues with. Another thing worth pointing out too is you are going to get some margins in here, and the reason why they're doing that is to bring down the actual line length. So Cambridge is really trying to help out those readers who do have dyslexia, but they do want to read the New Testament, and it can get kind of, and maybe they're intimidated by more traditional Bibles where you're getting like verse by verse, 2-column, just huge chunks of text. And so Cambridge has really gone the full 9 yards, like the shorter lines, the paragraphs, a single column, easy to read layout. Again, you're going to get that nice weighted text in that specially formulated font of grace. All in all, it's really, really great. I just think it's really cool that Cambridge is doing something like this, because I really do believe that everybody deserves to have a copy of the Bible that they enjoy reading. So whether you have dyslexia yourself, or maybe a friend or a family member does, definitely check out this Bible. I think it's going to be really beneficial for those readers, just to be able to give them a copy of the New Testament that's easy to read. It'll be enjoyable for them to read, and they can get into God's Word on a daily basis, and they won't have to strain as hard as they might on a kind of a standard Bible where you got, like the verse by verse format and the 2 columns and the huge sections of text and all that. So that's what Cambridge was really conveying to me over email, was that for this Bible, they had readers with dyslexia in mind, and just how they wanted to provide them with a product, where they could access the New Testament in a very readable format. So very, very cool. Big thumbs up to Cambridge. I think this is a great idea, and I hope that the readers who need it are able to find it and access it. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. And there you have it. There is the Crystal Edition New Testament from Cambridge Bibles. Special thank you to Cambridge for sending me a Bible to review. I really do appreciate that. And I also appreciate all of you for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you disliked it, be sure to hit the dislike button twice. In other breaking news, I'm looking to expand the channel a little bit. So coming up in the next few videos, we're going to be taking a look at some Orthodox products as well. That way, before I wrap up the whole Bible review segment of the channel, we can have a big selection of Protestant Bibles, Catholic Bibles, Orthodox Bibles. That way it can just all be organized into playlists. So throughout the life of the channel, people can go through my playlists and find whatever Bible they are looking for. Other than that, I wish all of you a happy Sunday and a blessed week. Again, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Zach, and this is Crowns.